Hi, it's Dr. Andrew Persistent. I'm going to turn this awesome music down for a second, and then we're going to do some work. So let me chat a little bit here. We got something that's a little bit paradoxical. When I say paradoxical, that means mixed up messages. So this morning I was doing mixed up messages with NASA, or say National Geographic, on the nature of the star, the concept of stars. So I was looking out the window this morning when I woke up early, and I was looking out and I saw a star. And I'm thinking to myself, back when I was younger, they taught that a star was either a planet or a sun of such. So I go on National Geographic and I'm checking out. I did a search and then I led to National Geographic. National Geographic, pretty respectable for a scientific text as such, right? I mean, not over the top, but pretty respectable. So when I'm reading it, they're saying that a star is essentially the helium and hydrogen that is the birth of a galaxy. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm saying, self. Now, galaxy, we're in the Milky Way. The Milky Way is a galaxy, and it's said on the report on the National Geographic that there's over 300 billion stars in our galaxy. So I'm thinking our galaxy is pretty small, called the Milky Way, and there's 300 galaxies possible within our small galaxy? This is kind of weird. So I'm thinking to myself, someone's mixed up in the message. So I'll tell you another mixed up message that is unclean on such. And it's the niacin debate. The niacin is such that you're supposed to get flush. Now, they created a non-flush niacin. Hexoapatite something flush, non-flush niacin. Niacin, nicotinic acid, vitamin B3 as such. So the thing is, you're supposed to get flush, and you do get flush through taking niacin. But listen to this bad boy. They're saying it's for niacin toxicity, but I'm finding it's definitely not that. Because in early stages of taking restricted niacin and then taking supplemental niacin, the flushing wears off as you're taking more niacin. So what's that saying? That's suggestive that the whole paradox or paradigm of saying niacin is due to, or the flushing due to niacin is due to its toxicity. That's not true, because as you're building up levels of niacin in the bloodstream, the actual flushing is decreased. So it's not toxicity as such, it's an adaptation syndrome of some sort. I haven't figured it out as such, because in low doses of niacin, you get flush, whereas they're calling it flush in niacin. And that's not what I'm finding. The truth is, it's not as that. There's a reframe even on the next run, which is recreational drugs called psilocybin or whatever, which would be found in magic mushrooms as such. Maybe even cannabis as such, but magic mushrooms for sure, and ayahuasca that I'm thinking the spirit plant. So now, when you're thinking you're going in a drug-induced state where you're mind tripping, well, that's the truth. You're mind tripping, but what's fraction? I've done the meditations on someone that has gone through the tripping of such. Now, you don't think I can meditate on someone that's going through the trance? Very much you can. And the truth is, their mind is split in a nature where they're mind communicating with their own mind. See, the soul is outside saying, I don't want this shit as such. Now I'm swearing, I shouldn't be swearing as such. But listen, the mind is not in control at that point in time. They're in a toxic state where the mind is mentally into their own mind. They're back and forthing with their own mind. It's a disassociation from mind, body, spirit, where the body is still there, but it's disembodied. So the truth is, you cannot become necessarily or self-realized as such. You can split the mind as such, but you can't be fractioned into what would be immortality as such. The fracturing or leaving of the mind from the body, because the mind is always in the body. If the mind was not in the body, not awareness as such, but I'm saying if the mind was not in the body, then you would be in a state of coma. And even as such, we don't even know what coma is as such, because we can mind map and such with EEGs and such that read the mind. But what are thoughts? Thoughts aren't even of the mind. Thoughts are consciousness outside of the mind. Inside the mind, outside of the mind. I'll get into that debate a little bit later. But the truth is, just as all these reframes, the mushroom debate, magic mushrooms as such, what is the potential? The potential is after you come down from the mind trip. Then it's a cleaning. So the cleaning is, the actual realization is, you don't even remember the trips that you've been on as such in all states. just as an ayahuasca is the after effect, throwing up, the vomiting. So oftentimes the vomiting is the therapeutic of the magic mushrooms or such of any alchemistry, which I can get into in a few seconds. But the alchemistry of ayahuasca. So where mirror. So Jesus as the mirror. It's gold, silver, and myrrh. The myrrh is actually, and I've taken it in some fraction of dose. I've taken straight myrrh as aromatherapy myrrh, sort of not aromatherapy, but therapy myrrh, and I've taken it and induced vomiting. Now, another way to induce vomiting. Now, remember, when fasting and vomiting are very similar, meaning there's no food in the system. What does that do? It bends in the mind. The mind bends through fasting, vomiting, and such. But too much is not good because then you don't have food in the system, and too little is not good. Can you imagine? The total antithesis of glutton is that they can't be realized of such potential. Because if they're dependent on food as such that they're glutton, then the truth is they're not evolved in such nature. So it's a paradox in that way. So there's a little bit of those. Okay, love you guys. Take care. Have a great day.